Hello, welcome to Great Goodness People, AG Executive Kitchen, where we cook and talk relationship. My name is Ngozi Zing. I'm the host for today's program, and I have with me two beautiful women. By my right is Mrs. Emmanuel.
Thank you for having me.
And my left is Mama Licious.
Hello, thank you for having me in the house.
You're welcome to our studio.
Thank you very much.
Mama Licious, you're welcome to our studio.
Thank you.
Okay, Mrs. Emmanuel, you came all the way from Lagos.
Yeah.
How was your journey to Abuja?
Bless God. It wasn't easy.
Okay,
Traveling by road, but I give God all the glory.
we're happy to have you here. Mama Licious, you stay in Abuja?
Yeah, I just relocated to Abuja recently,
Okay.
2022, all the way from Lagos.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Mrs. Emmanuel, how did you get to know about Great Goodness People?
Wow. Very interesting. I got to know about Great Goodness through Facebook, through a friend. So ever since I've been in Great Goodness, it has been a wonderful thing. I so much appreciate God for being in this group, for being part of this family.
Okay, Mama Licious, how long have you been married?
Okay, I got married 2013, so I think 11 years to be precise.
Okay. Mrs. Emmanuel, how long have you been married?
For 23 years now.
Wow, 23 years.
Yes.
Wow, 23 years no be big so.
So,
You mean you've been married for 23 years? That's good, congratulations.
Thank you.
So please, can you brief us on your marriage journey? How has it been so far? 23 years of marriage.
Well, marriage is an institution. It's a wonderful thing to get married. And the only thing I can say about marriage, especially on my own side, someone getting into marriage, you have to be tolerant. You have to have the fear of God for you to maintain your marriage. Because we are coming from different home, different body coming together. You understand? So if you have understanding with your spouse, although there are some obstacles on the way, but I believe if you commit your marriage into the hand of God and ask God to take control, every other thing will be minor.
Okay. All right. Thank you so very much. Mama Licious, excuse me. What do you think about marriage? Is marriage 50% physical and 50% spiritual?
of course, marriage is 50% spiritual, and in fact, marriage is, to me, 90% spiritual, because marriage is not just having sex with your partner and having children. It's beyond that. Like, my marriage is still an early marriage, but so far in this journey of marriage, I have been able to achieve what I am today through the spiritual means, that's through prayers, by being on my knees and praying. To me, my marriage is a spiritual journey. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Mrs. Emmanuel, what can you say is your worst experience in marriage?
What I can say is my worst experience in marriage. There are so many things. There are so many things that one will look at and say, this is my worst stage in marriage. The first thing is if there is no understanding in marriage, your marriage will be a very difficult one. Another one is that, Bible said, two cannot work together except they agree. If there is no agreement in your marriage, when husband is going left and the wife is going right, that will it will make the marriage to be difficult.
Okay, so what is that thing, that experience in your marriage that has thrown you off balance? Like the worst experience, what's that thing that you have experienced in your marriage that you thought of giving up? Like, I don't even tire for this marriage. Have you ever had that kind of experience?
Of course. Number one thing is, when especially early marriage, if you're in early marriage and you're living in a family house, if you don't have this kind of understanding, or if you have not gotten to that level of, everything in life has level. If you don't have the understanding, the patience, what it takes to go into marriage, and you just dangle into marriage. So by the time you find yourself into the midst of families in the marriage, you find it so difficult. Whereby mother-in-law is there, father-in-law is there, the sister-in-law and the brother-in-laws, and all of you are together in the same home. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. So it makes marriage so difficult at the earlier stage. If you don't have that patience, if you don't have that tolerance in your marriage. So that are the areas I've experienced in my own marriage. Yes.
Okay. The living together with your in-laws in one house.
Yeah.
I understand. I can relate. Thank you so very much for that. Mama Licious, what is the importance of relationship between spouse, like husband and wife? Like, I don't want to use the word. What is the importance of relationship? Like, a man performing his duty as a man. You get what I mean?
Okay.
What would you say is the importance of that relationship between couple?
It's very, very important for a man to perform his duty as a man. Financially, spiritual aspects, and sexual aspects. Because if you don't fulfill those three areas in a marriage, the marriage will crumble. Number one, a man should be able to cater for his family financially. Although it's not easy right now in the country, but as a man, you need to give your family that security. It's very important for you to be able to go out and fend for your family. Then secondly, the man has to be the covering of the house. In as much as the woman has a role, a woman is the mother hen of the family. A man has to give that family the spiritual covering, just as Christ is the head of the family. It's very important for a husband of the house, the man of the house, to give the family that covering. Then when it comes to the sexual aspect, a man is supposed to fulfill that area sexually. Satisfy your wife. Satisfy your wife, very important. I keep telling people this, because you can't just come straight and say, okay, I'm married to Mama Licious. Okay, Mama Licious, wake up in the night. No, you have to fulfill that aspect. I don't know, foreplay, make me happy, fulfill it, so that even self, my eye self no go there outside. My eye go remain for that marriage. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Thank you so much for that. We appreciate your honesty. Okay, I already asked Mrs. Emmanuel her worst experience in marriage, and she said living together as family at very early marriage every stage of your marriage, living with in-laws. I know how I did not live with my in-laws in one house, but I lived with a brother-in-law. I know what I went through. So imagine living with the in-laws, both parents and siblings in one house. So what can you say is your worst experience in marriage? What is your worst experience?
Okay, like we almost all have the same story to tell. I once lived in the same compound with my in-laws, and I know how difficult it was for us to come to agreement on some certain issues. And all those at that stage in life, it was so difficult, and I was always trying to be careful because one day I will also be a mother-in-law. So at that moment, to fix things and to try to balance things, it wasn't easy at that stage. But I give God the glory that I did not mess up at that stage. I was still firm, I still stood my ground, I still behaved well. Because if I don't cooperate with my husband at that moment, it was going to scatter the marriage. So at that moment in life, that stage of my life, it wasn't easy. Sometimes it throws me off balance, but with the support of my husband, he will tell me, you're married to me, not to my family. Look at me, listen to what I say, let's cooperate together. So when I hear things like that from him, it boosts the relationship back.
Courage.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so very much. Mrs. Emmanuel, will you say how is your journey in marriage so far? Will you say marriage is 100% sweet? Is marriage 100% sweet? Like, to you, what will you say?
Like I've said earlier, marriage has a lot of responsibilities, especially on the side of a woman. You know, you have to be tolerant, you have to be patient. A woman supposed to have all it takes to hold her marriage, because we are the one that will make our marriage work. Women make their marriage work. So if you don't know how to make your marriage work, it will look like you are just there to play. You know, marriage, as I said earlier, marriage is an institution. So it's like you are in a school. In your earlier marriage, you were in a school. You understand? So you have to understand left and your right in the marriage. Study your husband, study the in-laws. Then in bearing children, you understand? It's not always, I don't know how to put it. It's not always easy, but I believe by God on your side, on our side. We do believe.
Okay, you said women are the ones to make the marriage work.
Yeah.
I totally disagree with that. Yeah, I totally disagree with that because it's our responsibility. But making your marriage work sometimes is not.
It should be a collective.
Sorry.
It should be.
Sorry, do you know why I said so? Because the Bible makes us to understand. It said a wise woman builds her home. Do you understand? So the foolish one tear it apart. So when you're making up your marriage, you have to be wise.
Exactly. But there's a way you will build the marriage and see that the marriage, your partner in the marriage has refused that the marriage will build. I've seen a lot of women who has sacrificed so much to make sure that their marriage work, and it doesn't work.
Exactly.
So having a failed marriage sometimes
is better than
it's not
being there in
even
marriage.
it's not even the woman's fault. It's not because she could not keep her home, or sometimes it's not the man's fault, not that the man could not take care of his wife. So I don't totally believe that is the woman's responsibility. Yes, we have the society, African society has made us believe that we are supposed to keep our home. You know, we have 90% responsibility to make sure that our marriage works. But sometimes a lot of women have done 101%, making sure that the marriage works. And at the end of the day, so Mrs. Mama Licious,
Yeah.
what is your contribution to what she said?
To me, I feel it's a collective agreement. You bring what you have to the table, I bring what I have to the table. We need to do it jointly for it to work. We need to cooperate together. You understand? Because sometimes, as a woman, you have tried all your best to make it work, and the man is not even responsible enough, you understand? Or maybe when you're going through violence in marriage, the marriage is not working out. Is it not better for you to vacate the marriage than for the marriage to cause harm to you? So when you have an understanding partner and your partner is willing to cooperate with you, I believe that is when the marriage can go to the next level.
Thank you so very much. I'm so happy to have you both here.
Thank you.
This is Great Goodness People, where we cook and talk relationship. We've come to the end of our program today, and we say bye-bye.
Bye.